What's going on, y'all? Nature Boy checking in. Just want to tap in real quick. Yes, I actually am working. Yes, I'm making this video in between trying to get some real work done. And yes, I'm wearing chaps while I weed eat. And if you don't know nothing about it, mind your business. So I really want to talk to y'all specifically today because it's some real serious stuff going on. I'm playful in my banter and my delivery, but the real life reality is we are living in a food crisis right now. Okay, so right now is September 1st, 2025. And you don't need to be a rocket scientist to figure out that something's just not right within our system. The debt to income gap is widening by the day. We're paying more taxes than ever. And right now we're paying new and greater taxes on things that still don't value our bodies. They don't value what we're standing for as American citizens. The companies don't represent us in any form or fashion as far as equality. And we're just sick and tired of it, right? I don't really want to dwell on the subject matter of what's going wrong. I'm really interested in what we can do, like what's going right, right? So I really just want to take some time to introduce something that we're doing here in Atlanta called the Roots Initiative through Collectively Sustainable, right? And Collectively Sustainable is just a grassroots movement that is organizing hyper locally. We're connecting growers, bakers, and makers of all capacities, or anybody who has a skill set that says, hey, this is needed, whether it's sound bowl therapy or small engine repair or learning how to make medicines out of wild herbs. We're galvanizing our own resource hubs hyper locally that's within a 50-mile radius, and we're starting to skill share. We're starting to teach each other, right? And with that component, we're also adding a little flavor on top, man. And we're calling this a Roots Initiative. And that's Roots Initiative is really just mutual aid. It's us who are kind of efficient or proficient in growing food or making tinctures or preserving food and making bread, things like that. We're saying that, yes, we'll not only help you install your food production plot, but we'll also help you with the education from then on, right? Because we understand that we're at a position where we can't afford to not have everybody growing. We cannot afford it. And I'm gonna give some clarity now. We are a first generation farmstead. We call ourselves a farmstead because we started in agriculture in 2017 with the objective of being a farm. We quickly found out that it was unsustainable and that our whole agricultural system was built on a fallacy. The fallacy is that we think that our farmers produce our food. And we think that when we're going to farmers markets and things like that, we're getting something that was grown by somebody around that area. And that's just not the case. What I found out with doing my own research as a first generation farmer, and I mean, I did this research fairly quickly, really early. Within the first 3 to 6 months, we already had made our declaration that we didn't want anything to do with farming or the terminology. So we switched into homesteading. But basically, what I found out in farming is a lot of farmers are just limping by with subsidies every year. They just get subsidies to grow food, and then they go to distribution centers and they pick up food that comes off pallets in boxes out of a warehouse, just like your big box grocers do. And then they bring that to the market and they sell. 9 times out of 10, not all farmers do this, but the ones that really are just about capitalism and kind of keeping the wheel turning, they don't mind. They don't mind because farmers are all about profit. That's what makes you a farmer versus a gardener, right? It's just your profit margin. And what I realized early on, my wife and I, we just said we didn't want any parts of it. And we turned our backs to farming in that capacity. And we started to steward our land and go towards more homesteading. And we started to utilize more of our things just for our personal consumption versus for sale, right? So that was our divergence pathway. Within that, again, we realize a starking reality is just that the farmers are not growing the food. So who is getting majority of our stuff from other countries, from overseas, right? So when 2020 happened and everybody was panicking because those boats couldn't get to the dock or they couldn't get downloaded with their goods because of the pandemic, and we saw how the shelves were empty and people were panicking, we're here already again. No, it didn't just go away. We're here, and A lot of us have been screaming that, hey, it didn't go anywhere. We still need to be getting prepared. Some of us have been screaming that while getting prepared. Some of us have been screaming it while doing other things aside from getting prepared. And then the last part of us, of human civilization, have no clue what we're talking about right now. Right? Don't have the slightest clue. And the reality is, those are the three people that I'm talking to that this Roots initiative can help dramatically. So instead of complaining about the situation and worrying about what we're going to do next, we have actively been engaged in the solution. And the solution is, again, finding all the people in your area with know-how, having them come together in an organized construct, right? And literally teach the community what they know. That's all. It's really simple. The movement is called Collectively Sustainable. Wearing my shirt here today. Collectively Sustainable is just that, man. That's our declaration. We're going to create our own food system, one that we can trust, with goods that we can trust, with things that are easily accessible, meaning they're close to us. We're going to create that on our own versus waiting for lobbyists and politicians and rules and all these things to kind of manifest by way of prayer or voting or hoping that it gets. Nah, we done with that. We done with that. What we're going to do is go out in our communities and we're installing 10 by 10 food production systems, supplemental food production systems. This means that we're growing in that capacity that can sustain just yourself in a supplemental aspect. It's not going to be the whole nine. 10 by 10 food production systems can be installed within 3 hours. We're literally doing it with labor, and education is free. All people are doing is buying their materials. And when they buy the materials, they come into the community so they can have access to the education. And that's how we are paying it forward for the people who are installing. So if you're somebody who installs and you really have framework that you follow, you have a class that you can give, we're allowing you the space and opportunity to have a community to present to, right? The end all be all is not to be rich. The end all be all is to be wealthy. What we're trying to do is increase the understanding that wealth is in health. And if we can't live a happy life all the way up until our old age, then what's the point? Right? And we want to be happy. We want to be mobile. We want to enjoy ourselves. We want to enjoy our life. And right now, the system is sucking us dry. And we don't have time to keep on acting like it's not. So again, this Roots initiative is something that we're doing here in Atlanta that I'm hoping to inspire you doing. On this YouTube channel, there is a section called Roots. You can watch all of what we're doing right now. You can get involved in your area just by being a member of Collectively Sustainable and then initiating this in your town, your city, your sector, wherever you want to go. Again, it's mutual aid. All you're doing is saying, hey, I'm a gardener or a farmer or a homesteader, and I got a Saturday to give y'all. Once a month, I'm going to help y'all with an install. We're going to go galvanize a workforce of volunteers. We're going to go to this person's backyard, front yard, side yard. We're going to follow the proper procedures of marking the utility lines and all that. But last but not least, we're going to install. We're going to install a supplemental food production system that should yield anywhere in between 250 to 340 pounds of fresh produce. That's not all. Within our solution, we're saying that we're counting the apples in the seeds, not the seeds in the apple. You see what I'm saying? So what we're doing is we're going to go out and plant those seeds with those installs. We're going to help you throughout the course of the year and educate you on how to save seeds, how to harvest things, how to preserve things, how to bake bread, how to make tinctures, how to make soaps, all the things we're going to teach in hopes that you bear fruit of your own in order to plant seeds in someone else. So this Roots initiative is based on mutual aid to the capacity of, as we come to your spot and install, you're saying, hey, I agree to go to 3 other people's spots and assist as well. So now that knocks down our labor costs. That's why it can continue being low cost to no cost, right? That's the first tier. Second tier is, as you produce food and you find people in your area utilizing the Farm Fresh 24/7 app, that's an app that we back, that we created, that we are actually funded by and funding ourselves. That's our sustainable mechanism, our decentralized marketplace where it's digital and you can go anywhere at any time and still have access to nutrient dense, trusted produce. Now, when people have their 10 by 10 plot and they're starting to get mature vegetables and fruits and they're starting to harvest and they have a little bit too much, they can go to the app and either barter or sell that stuff to somebody in their area, thus increasing their chances of finding other people who are down to be a part of, you guessed it, because collectively we can sustain, collectively we go further. So that's kind of what we're doing right here in Atlanta. Not kind of what we're doing it, we're executing it, and it's coming with things that I didn't even quantify as deliverables. We didn't even know that we were going to be building community in this degree. We didn't even know that we were going to be able to go into senior homes and folks in the neighborhood who are just not able to move their bodies like they used to and be of service in that capacity. And then in exchange, we're tapping into folks who have wisdom, folks who understand how things are going right now, and they come from a background where they've weathered those storms already. So it's beautiful. And I'm just putting this out there. Hopefully it touches your soul, your spirit, and kind of calls you to get active. Because right now the hand that we need is at the end of our own sleeves. And Collectively Sustainable is organizing the handshaking. You know what I mean? So again, collectivelysustainable.org, jump into the movement. If you're feeling funky, man, it ain't no time to talk about it. It's some time to walk about it now. So let's get in it, man. Get active with it. Nature boy, that respect. I'm back to work, y'all.